everybody. Today I want to show you how to take, this is Louise's illuminated image right here. And he's got all of his different layers all laid out. This is the original. And as you can see, he's distinguished every single different color. So you can clearly see each layer here. And if this is going to be what he plans on using for the laser cutter, I want to show you how to take it from here to basically what you're going to need to do. It's a couple different steps. Is you create this first, and then I would make a copy of this because this is a nice image all by itself. So to do that, you go to File, Save a Copy. I'm not going to do that because I already have one. It won't automatically open up the copy for you, so you need to do that yourself. So you can see this one's called Copy, and there it is. And in the copy, you just grab all your vectors, and you're going to assign it a stroke of 0.25 points. You're going to also notice that he added something else. Just like in this image, there was the 1-inch border. When you add that 1-inch border, you don't want to make it a color of black. You still want it to be a stroke of 0.25 points because the laser cutter only notices 0.25 points, but you notice how it's red. That helps position everything on the laser cutter so it cuts perfectly. So you definitely need that. This is not ready for cutting though, because if I sent this to the laser cutter would get really confused and say, wait a minute, I had to cut this line and then this line all out of one piece of paper. You don't want to do that. So what you have to do is break this down even more, and let me show you what it looks like. Here's one of the images. So you can see now, and I'll turn off the guides for a second because there's that red line I was talking about that's exactly at the 1-inch border, and then there's an inch here and another inch there. And then you can see here's another one of his vectors. So the laser cutter is basically going to say, oh, okay, so I have to cut this line here, and it stops. I have to cut this line here, and it stops. And then if I move on, here's another document. So you see it's cutting a piece of paper for every single thing. And basically to do this, what you'll have to do is come back to this and figure out the size you need. So if I click on Artboard, so I know that I don't know if you can see that up here because the way it's blocked. Unfortunately, this says 12 over by height. It says 10. So I know this is a width of 10 and a height of 12. And the artboard that we're working with is exactly, the laser cutter size is exactly 24 by 12. So I know that we have a little bit of wiggle room to play with, and we can print 2 images at any given time. As long as each image is underneath the dimensions of 12 by essentially 12, you should be good to go with this. But he went ahead and made his 12 by 24. So we created an artboard, and his artboard is 10 by 24. So that's under the dimensions of 12 by 24. So to do that, I'm just going to show you very quickly how to go about doing that. So I'm going to make this a width of 24. And in his case, it was a height of 10. I'm going to say OK. So let me shrink this down so you can see it. There's my artboard. Go to View, Rulers, Show Rulers. OK. So next thing I'm going to do is I need to make some guides here that show where the 1-inch borders are. To do that, I goofed up and do Ruler Origin. What I ended up doing is changing where this was on the artboard. It's really important this is oriented to 0 here and 0 here. Do not change that, because if you do, the laser cutter might actually start cutting in an area it's not supposed to, and you can get a big problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and try that again, and there's my guide. Yay, it worked this time. And there's my guide. So I know where my 1-inch border is, like that. And I'm going to do this again over here, because I know this is supposed to be at 12. Oops, didn't work. Oh, look, it moved it to 12. Uh-oh. Edit, undo, or Ruler Origin, and try it again. Go to 12, and there's my guide, and I've got another guide over here because that's where the image stops, and this is where the second one starts, if that makes sense. This is going to be the border right here, and actually I have another border right here. So okay, so you're probably like, what are you talking about, Mrs. Silver? This is the height of each paper, and this is the 1-inch board that you're looking at. I didn't put it down here because I don't think I need to. And I'm going to add now a 1-inch border in red. There it is. Give it a color of red. And now that I have that, I'm going to give this a stroke of 0.25. And you're like, wait, I don't see it. It's there. Trust me, it's there. But if you want to see it, you can just go to View, Guides, Hide Guides for a minute. There it is. Okay, so, but I'm going to show my guides. Why not, right? And I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to drag it over here to there. And there's my border there. And then what I would do is I'd go back to here, and maybe I'll just be systematic, grab this first one, edit copy, and come back over here, edit paste, and paste it all the way over there. And then I believe I have to rotate this, so edit. And I just realized I don't know how to orient this. So, you know what, I'm going to delete that. I think what I have to do is, because I need to know where to put this, I need to grab this and this at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. Let's see if I just copy it and paste it. Okay, pasted it together. That's awesome. So I didn't even need to make the guide, and as it turns out, I'm going to come over here, hold on the Shift key, and I get exactly 90 degrees. So I know I can line this up exactly with where it needs to go. So that's exactly where it needs to be in the place. And then I would just keep rinsing and repeating. I'll show you one more time. So again, click here, make sure I got a different path this time. It's a different path. Edit copy, go back, edit paste. And again, rotate it. And move it. And you have to do this with every single one of your shapes, every single one of your layers. So in his case, Luis has, I think I did the exact same path, maybe not. Luis had 9 or 8 layers, so he's going to end up with, 10 layers, 10 different paths, so he's going to end up with 5 different images like this, because you can put 2 on each one. I hope that makes sense.